Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike from MOBOX, and in this video we're going to be going over the exploding atom from the Real Engineering nuclear powered airplanes video. If you haven't seen that video, highly recommend you go check that video out. This video is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial, but I think just walking through it will be enough. So jumping into After Effects here, this is kind of the first layer of our comp, and this is the explosion. So what I have here is I have a small circle. Let me turn motion blur off so you can see. I have a small circle that moves in position, scale, and opacity from the center to the edge of the screen. Now I also added an echo here with 3 echoes. So when I turn that off, you'll see that what it basically does is it adds a few echoes. When I turn motion blur on, you can see that it kind of blurs into just one line all on its own. So the effect here is basically a spark or a line. So I could pre-compose that by hitting Control-Shift-C, and I duplicated the layer 12 or 13 times and I offsetted them by just a few frames. It looks like 1 frame, 2 frame maximum. What else I did was I rotated them and I scaled them. So I hit S on the keyboard, and I changed the scale. So you can see here all the scales are kind of variable, as well as the rotation. So they're all basically rotated and scaled around that center point. So you get kind of, it looks like a little spark or a little explosion. I went ahead and I pre-composed that again, selecting all of the layers and hitting Control-Shift-C, and I kind of started my full explosion. So the first thing I did was I duplicated the layer 3 times, so I had 4 layers. And let me remove these other sparks as well. And I basically did the same thing again. So they have slight variation. So that kind of is our main big explosion with the biggest particles. But we can make this a lot more interesting. So what I did was I copied all of those layers and I duplicated them into these sparks. So what these sparks are basically the same thing as the bigger ones, except for the scale is much smaller and the time difference between the layers is much larger. So what that gives me are these little tiny sparklets to make it look like it's continuously reacting. What we decided to do was add an adjustment layer with a glow and a lens flare. So let me turn that on and show you what it looks like. Now you can't actually see the lens flare because there's no layer underneath. This layer down here is acting as a green screen, but I'm gonna change this to black just for purposes of viewing this. I'll have to change it back to green after. You'll see why in a second. So this here has a spark, a lens flare that basically moves across the spark and adds some glow. Now 1 looked good, but 2 always looks better. So I basically just duplicated that layer, offset them a little bit, and I changed the lens flare type just to add a little bit more variety so it looks a little bit different. So you can see when I turn that second one on, things go really crazy. The reason is that we're doubling up on the glows, we're doubling up on the lens flares, and things look a lot more kind of fiery and hot and dynamic. So now it actually looks like it's sparking and going crazy. One thing that you'll notice is that this thing continues to kind of linger on and blink. The reason is I added an expression to the brightness to make it wiggle. That way it kind of gives that effect that it's still kind of reacting and little particles are flashing lights. That's something that we may not want later on, but that's something that we can kind of taper off with the transparency on our final comp. Last thing was I added the background layer and I set it to green at 100% so I can kind of keep this green out in my final comp. There are many other ways to do this, but I did it like this so I could reuse this composition later as a video and not having to deal with PNGs and PNG videos. So the next thing is I created 2 different atoms in Cinema 4D. So in After Effects, if you go to File, New, Max on Cinema 4D, it actually opens up a Cinema 4D light, which you can do all of these things in. So let me open up Cinema 4D here, and you can see here that I have basically just a bunch of circles. If I move the camera around, you can see that the back is basically empty, but this is all I needed because we're not moving the camera or anything. So I added a few lights around the object to just kind of give it a good lighting, and I added some vibration to these kind of pieces of the atom. So to do that, I selected the layer and went to Tag, Cinema 4D tag vibrate. So this is available in Cinema 4D Lite, which comes with After Effects. So now we have these kind of vibration expressions on here. If you look down here, I basically enabled the position vibration, and I modified the amplitude and frequency for each one. I exported this out with both this big atom as well as the smaller atom. So then I was left with these two compositions in After Effects, one small and one large. So going into the main composition, I brought in the large atom, and I added a time remapping. So basically what a time remapping allowed me to do was change the speed of time on that layer. So we are at 100%. It's kind of hard to see. We're actually at 1 here. So 1 times speed, and this thing is going to speed up all the way until the end where it's going to just be shaking vigorously. So you can see it starts going and then it just goes crazy. Now this layer is cut off. After that point, boom, it's just frozen in time. So the next thing I did was I added 3 additional atoms. Once that layer gets cut off, those 3 atoms kind of appear. If you hit U on the keyboard, you can see what they're doing. Basically, they're starting in the center, and these keyframes are just to shoot them out. Along with position, I also have some rotational keyframes, so they kind of spin off like they had a little bit of energy, so they don't look like they're just kind of popping out of nothing for no reason. Another thing that I did was I added an expression onto the positions, which was a wiggle. And I did that for all of the atoms, even the main one. So that way it's moving, in space as well as kind of vibrating itself. So I think that effect was pretty cool. Now all I had to do was drop the explosion on top and add something called key light. And basically key light is what studios use, but basically it allows you to key out the green screen. And when that's turned on, boom, it basically keys out the green. So I effectively used a green screen. With the green screen and with the explosions and the lens flares, I didn't really have too much control over the color. So I just added a kind of HLS color balance, which allowed me to kind of make the color kind of like this purple hue, but I could have easily made it, green. Maybe we're looking at kryptonite, or maybe we're looking at kind of, I don't know, iodine. I don't know what shines blue, but I thought that a pinkish red was pretty cool. So that's what I went with. That's basically a walkthrough of the entire explosion. Now, if you know anything about After Effects, you could probably follow this along no problem. If you're new to After Effects, you may want a full tutorial, but that tutorial will be extremely long. Anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to go check out the Real Engineering video. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a like, subscribe, let us know in the comments down below what kind of videos you want to see next. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.